Hello, 6th grade. How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. We are going to be learning today how to work with numbers that have order of operations. So multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, even with decimals. Okay, so it goes a little bit of an extension of what we did last time, calculating mixed numbers with fractions and decimals. But this time we're going to be also including parentheses. So let's dive right in. So welcome to my class. We are going to be just reviewing what's inside of our prime book with fractions and decimals. And then we're also going to be looking at something called Pemdas. Okay, so let me actually put this bigger, this screen a little bit bigger, and let's learn about order of operations. Okay, so order of operations, or PEMDAS, is just basically understanding what you do first in a multiplication problem, addition problem, when you have mixed numbers, okay? So we would always do parentheses first. In this case, you also have brackets, but we're not going to be working with brackets. And then you do after that, you're going to be doing exponents. Now, we're not working with exponents either, so you can just skip that step. Then you go to multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. You need to know that's the order of things that you do them in. So again, first we do parentheses, then we do multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. Again, we're not going to be working with exponents, okay? In 5th grade, you guys did this, but it was just with problems that are a whole lot easier. So for example, you did just regular whole numbers, not with decimals. So we're just going to amplify it a little bit more and do a couple of problems. You'll also notice that I've put some of those problems in the math Instagram page. Some of you have interacted with this already, where you have to really be careful if it's a multiplication problem or an addition problem to see which one you do first. So let's dive right into page 65 and do the first problem on page 65. Okay? The problem says 1.2 plus 3.45 plus 6.7. Well, that's pretty simple. All we're really doing is just adding those together. So let's actually put those all together. We can just add this up right away. So 1.2 plus 3.45. Oops, where's my decimal point? Put that in there. Oops. And 6.7. I can just add all those up if I really want to, all at the same spot, all at the same time. And I'm going to add a 0 right here and a 0 right here to complete my hundredths place. So here we go. 0 plus 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 4 is 6, and 6 plus 7 is 13. And here we have our, you could call the hundredths place if you really wanted to. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5, plus 6 is 11. Now, I need to remember to put my decimal points in their correct spot. You'll notice that all my decimal points are in one line. Okay, so I'm going to also bring my number, my decimal point, into my number. So my first answer is 11.35. Let's do the next problem. The next problem says, here we go. 9.8 minus 2.03 minus 4.5. So it's pretty similar to the first problem. This time we just have subtraction. Okay, so subtraction in this case. Subtraction. Okay, let's do it just step by step. 9.8 minus 2.3. Here we go. 9.8 minus 2.3. Oh, no, 2.03. Make sure you caught that. Okay, I'm going to put a 0 in my spot, my hundredth spot, right here, so I can continue doing my subtraction. 0 minus 3 we can't do, so we're going to go over to the next column and pretty much take away that number. We're going to take away 10 and bring that 10 over here. So 10 minus 3 equals 7. 7 minus 0 equals 7. And 9 minus 2 equals 7. So we have 7.77. Bring my decimal point into my problem. And then we can continue with the last part, which is subtracting 4.5. So here we have 7.77 minus, pick a different color, 4.5. Again, with addition and subtraction, it is important that you make sure you line up your decimal points. And then if there is a number that's missing, like a 0, you need to add that in there, okay? 7 minus 0 is 7. 7 minus 5 is 2. And 7 minus 4 is 3. So your answer, your final answer is 3.27, okay? Let's look at a math joke just to kind of clear the atmosphere a little bit. So let's pop that up. What did the 0 say to the 8? Nice belt. All right, let's go to the next problem, 1C. Okay, here we have addition and subtraction in the same problem. So we need to be careful. You can do it in any order that you want, really. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to start from the left and go to the right. So to save time, I can just do this on the calculator. Okay, we've already worked with addition and subtraction of those numbers. So I'm just going to save some time right now and just try it on the calculator. Okay, just so we can understand how to do these problems. We already really know, but we can just do them a little bit quicker. Okay, so I have 8.57 plus 9.36. Okay, that's going to give me approximately, let's see, 8 plus 9 is 17. It's like 17 or 18, right? Oh, here we go. Okay, between 17 and 18, 17.93. Now I just subtract what number? 3.75. And that's going to give me 14.18. Okay, so that is my final answer. Sorry about that. Let's erase that and come back to this problem. What was my answer? 14.18. All right, so how do I delete this? Delete 14 point, was it again? 18. Okay, so that is letter C, number 1 on page 65. So that's your final answer. Let's go to the next problem. All right, the next problem says, I gotta really figure out how to, here we go, figure out how to do this. Letter D. This time we have some division and some multiplication, so we have to be a little bit more careful, okay? When we do division, remember that you need to make sure that you are dividing by a whole number. So in this case, you have the number 0.25. Now that is not a whole number. If we multiply this by 100 and we multiply this other number by 100, we're going to change our divisor and our dividend to a whole number, okay? So if we multiply that, we're going to move the decimal point over 2 spots. Okay, let me do that in green so you can see it. By multiplying 0.25 times 100, we're moving the decimal point over 2 spots. So this number is now going to change to 25, okay? And this number is going to change to 625, okay? Now I can divide like normal. 625 divided by 25 is going to give me 25. Let's just check that on the calculator to make sure. 625 divided by 25 equals 25. Yes, that is correct. All right, so equals 25. We are now finished with the first part of the problem, but we still have to finish the second part, the multiplication. So we're going to multiply 25 times 4.68. Let's do that right over here in orange. So we have 4.68 times 25. Okay? 8 times 5 is 40. 40. Bring my 4 up to the top to my tens column. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4 is 34. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23. Okay, I'm not going to worry about my decimal point just yet. I have that decimal point right there in my problem, but I'm not going to worry about it just yet. Now you can put anything in that column right here. You can put a 0 there, a smiley face, an X, a line, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to jump over to my tens column. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 on the top, right over here, you can kind of see it, is 13. So 3 goes on the bottom, and let's pick purple, 1 goes on the top. If you wanted to erase these, you could erase these numbers just so that you're not confused. You can do that. It's up to you. Okay. Now I have 2 times 4, which is 12 plus 1, yep, 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So I'm going to put my 9 right there. Okay, and then I'm going to add these up. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 6 is 10. Add my 1. 3 plus 3 is 7. And 2 plus 9 is 11. So our final answer is going to be, just a second, let's put that right here, 11700. Now, we forgot to do something very important, which is we need to count the numbers to the right of the decimal place. Okay, we actually multiplied 468 times 25, which gives us 11,700. But if you multiply 4 times 25, it's going to give you a whole lot smaller number. We need to move those decimal points over. I'll show you in blue. We have 2 numbers to the right of our decimal point. Here's our decimal point. So we need to move our decimal point over 2 spots as well. 1, 2. Okay? If I move my decimal point over 2 spots, let me do it up here so you can see it. 11700. Move it over 2 spots. Our final answer is going to be 117. Okay? That is your final answer, 117. Okay? I'm going to erase all this and just check it on the calculator just to make sure that we got the correct answer. Okay? So let's find out. We're going to do the division first. 6.25 divided by 0.25 gives us 25. Okay, now we actually divided 625 by 25. And let's see if that gives us the same answer. 625 divided by 25 also gives us 25. Now we just need to multiply by 4.68, which gives us 117. We got the correct answer. Okay, cool. Let's go to another problem. Before we do that, I'm going to show you another math joke. Question says, are monsters good at math? Not unless you count Dracula. Haha. Okay. Not sure if those are funny for you or not, but let's continue on the bottom of page 65. We have now a mix of problems. We have addition and multiplication. What are we going to do first? I wonder. Well, we could do the multiplication first, or we could do the addition first. What should we do first, step A or step B? Well, just like you remember, we're going to do the multiplication first, and then we're going to do the addition or subtraction. In this case, it would just be the addition. Okay, that's going to be second. Okay, so let's do that first problem, the multiplication first. Okay, let me clear all of this so you guys have more space. Let's go with the multiplication first. 1.25 times 3.48. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick when we multiply numbers with decimals. I'm going to put not 3.48, but 348 on the top times 25. Now, you're probably wondering, Mr. Joseph, why aren't you putting the decimals in the problem? Well, I'm going to worry about those decimals later on. Okay, I'm going to worry about those numbers to the right of the decimals later on. Okay, I need to remember those decimals. Okay, so let's actually just multiply like normal. 8 times 5 is 40. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. And 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Add my place value right there because I'm going to go to the tenths place. Let's switch colors. Okay, we don't need these numbers anymore. There's 2 and this 4. We don't need those anymore. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 3 is 6. And there we go. We have our problem that we can just add up. Okay, 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 4 is 10. 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 9 is 17. 6 plus 1 is 8. Okay, so we have 8,700. Now, you're probably thinking, I don't know about that. I don't know if we're going to figure out 8,700. Well, that's because we need to continue our problem, which has two numbers to the right of the decimal point right here, and two numbers to the right of the decimal point right here. So we actually have to take our problem right here, 8,700, and we need to move the decimal point over a couple of spots. 4 spots to be exact. 2 here and 2 here. So let's do that. I'll show you that in purple. Okay. Here's my decimal point right there. We're going to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. Okay, so our new number is going to be 0, if you want, 0.87. Okay, 0.87 is the same as 0.25 times 3.48. Let me do that on the calculator just to show you. So we have 0.25 times 3.48 equals 0.87. Okay, we did the multiplication. Now we just need to do the addition. So let's take our problems and let's add them together. We have 6.1 plus 0.87. Okay, so let's add those together. 6.1 plus 0.87. I'm going to add a 0 to the right of my 1, just because it's easier to add. Okay, 0 plus 7 is 7. 8 plus 1 is 9. And 6 plus 0 is 6. Bring down my decimal point into my answer, and my answer is 6.97. That's your final answer, 6.97. Okay, cool. Let's do, you know what? This is actually a subtraction problem. I just checked in the book. This is subtraction, so we need to subtract. Oh boy, we gotta subtract, not add. I had an addition problem. This is actually a subtraction problem. Let's do that instead. Let's subtract 6.10. Sorry about that. That's not your final answer. We are subtracting, not adding. Okay. In the book, it's subtraction. On here on the screen, I have it as adding. So good thing I checked that. 0 minus 7 we cannot do, so we're just going to take that 10 and bring it over here. 10 minus 7 is 3. Okay. And come over here to my hundreds spot. Take away 100 and bring it over to my next column. So we have 10 minus 8, which equals 2. Bring down my decimal point. And 5 minus 0 is 5. So your final answer, is 5.23. Okay, that's your final answer for letter A on page 65. Okay. Let me delete that. We're going to go to the next problem. Get out of here. Here we go. Letter B. Okay. I'm going to pause. You're going to pause the video and you're going to do this on your own. Remember, you need to do the division first and then the addition. Okay? So pause the video. All right, let's check that. Hopefully you did this correctly. You did the division correctly and you got 65. Okay, you moved your decimal points over, and then you did the addition. So I'm actually doing the addition right now. You can do this in your brain, in your head, right? 65 plus 3 is 68. Okay, but if you wanted to work it out, you could work it out too. That's fine too. Okay, 65 plus 3.88 equals 68.88. That should be your final answer. Okay, I just added 65 plus 3, which gives me 68, and then I added my decimal into my problem, 0.88. So that should be your final answer. Okay, all right, let's delete this, and let's go on to one more joke. See if this one's funny. The triangle says to the circle, "You're pointless. No tienes punto. No tienes propósito." Okay. Now, the next couple of problems are going to be a little bit more difficult because we have not only 2 steps, in this time we have 3 steps. We have addition, multiplication, and subtraction. So we're going to be going a little bit more extensive. For these problems, up until the ones that we get to the parentheses, I'm just going to do them on the calculator just so that we can understand it a little bit better. But I want to make sure that we do them in the correct order. First, we need to do the multiplication. Okay, that's the first step. So we're going to multiply 0.45 times 3.6. We need to do that first. Okay. After that, we're going to come back and do the addition. We're going to do that step second. And then at the very end, we're going to be doing the subtraction, which is third. Okay? So let's try that on the calculator. Okay, let's do the first step first. 0.45 times 3.6 gives us 1.62. I'm going to now add 9.8. So plus 9.8 gives me 11.42, and then I'm going to subtract, do my third step, minus 7.55. Okay, that's not correct. Let's try that again. 0.45. I think I didn't clear my first number. Let me clear it, just make sure, clear. 0.45 times 3.6 equals 1.62. That makes a lot of sense. Now I'm going to add 9.8, which gives me 11.42, and then I'm going to subtract 7.55 minus 7.55. That looks a whole lot better. 3.87 is my answer. Okay? Equals 3.87. Okay, there's your answer. And if you check that, it makes a lot of sense. This is approximately 1, and then 1 plus 9.8 is approximately 10 or 11, and then 11 minus what looks like approximately 8 is 2 or 3, depending on how you estimate it. So 3.87 actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's go to the next problem. This one's pretty similar, but now we have division at the way end. The book is trying to get you guys mixed up, okay? What are we going to do first? Well, we want to do the multiplication first, and then the division. And then at the way end, do that subtraction, okay? So this is step A, this is step B, and this is step C. Okay. To save some time, we're going to do this again on the calculator because later on we'll do some problems, handwritten. Okay. The only reason why I do it on the calculator is just to save time. Now you already know how to multiply, a number like 4.9 times 5.5. So it should be pretty simple. Okay. Again, I'm going to clear my calculator really well. 4.9, which is approximately 5. Times 5.5, so 5 times 5 is 25. This is going to give me approximately 25. Times 5.5, maybe 26. Here we go, 26.95. Okay, I'm going to write that down just to make sure. 26.9. I did it again. I don't know how to erase that. let's just write it. I don't know. 20, here we go. 26.95, 6.95. Okay, we can get rid of this part of the problem. Now we're going to do the division. I'm going to clear my calculator. 3.3 divided by 0.55. Now, if I would have moved the decimal points over, I would have had 330 divided by 55, which equals 6. Let's try that again. 330 divided by 55, which equals 6. Okay, so this is going to give me 6. 6. So we're really subtracting 26.95 minus 6, which is pretty simple. You can just do that in your brain, right? 26 minus 6 is just 20. And then you add your decimal point into your problem. 20.95 should be your answer for letter D. Okay? All right, we've done lots of problems, boys and girls. These are pretty difficult because they're multi-step. Okay? These are all multi-step problems, which are pretty difficult. Okay? Now, we're going to make it even more difficult with some problems with parentheses. Okay? Before we do that, let's look at another joke. It says, what is a math teacher's favorite type of tree? A geometry. Get it? Geometry. Okay. Let's go to page 66 where we're introduced to parentheses. Now this is going to be a little bit more complex, but all we got to do is just remember to do the parentheses first before we do the multiplication and division and before we do the addition and subtraction. Okay? So let's do that. Let's do this problem. Let's erase that. Erase that. There we go. Let's do the first one, which is 1.8 plus 3.44. Well, let's do that quickly. 1.8 plus 3.44. I'm going to add a tenths, a hundredths, right next to my tenths column. There we go. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5. Bring my decimal point into my problem, 5.24. Okay, now we have 5.24 times 0.75. Okay, so let's do that one right over here on the right. Okay, here we have 5.24 times 0.75. Now remember, you don't have to line up your decimal points when it comes to multiplication. If your decimal points are not in a line, that's okay. But these ones are. It just so happens that these ones are in a line, which is fine. Whatever. That's cool. Let's continue multiplying. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. 5 times 5 is 25. Plus 1 is 26. Okay. I'm going to put my place value right there because I'm going to move on to my tenths. Here's my 0. Really bad 0. Okay, 7 times 4 is 28. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 2 is 16. And 7 times 5 is 35, plus 1 is 36. Okay, now, since I'm moving on to my hundredth spot, I need to add not just 1, but 2 zeros into my problem. I'm going to do that in blue so you can see that. 1, 2 zeros into my problem. Okay, now I can just multiply like normal. All right, here we go. 0 times 4 is, let's go green this time. 0 times 4 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. And 0 times 5 is 0. Okay, now I can just add like normal. I'm going to put my addition problem right over here because I don't have a lot of space. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 2 is 10. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13. 2 plus 1 plus 6 is 9. And 3 plus 0 is 3. Now, at the way end, we need to realize how many zeros we have in our problem. I'm going to erase this because we already know what that is. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. Let's count to see how many numbers we have to the right of our decimal point. Okay. I can count right here 4 numbers to the right of my decimal point. There are 4 numbers to the right of my decimal point. Oops, what happened there? We are right here. Oh my goodness. It just deleted that. We have 4 numbers to the right of our decimal point. Okay, so we also need to add 4 spots in our answer. So we're going to move our decimal point over. If our decimal point is right here, okay, we have our decimal point right here, right there. Okay, we're going to move it over 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer, boys and girls, is going to be 3.93. Okay, we don't need those extra zeros. Those kind of go away. Okay, let's check this on the calculator just to make sure. Okay, so the first thing we did was the addition problem. 1.8 plus 3.44, which equals 5.24, which we got right there, right here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply that by 0.75. Multiplied by 0, if you want to put that there, 0.75, which equals 3.93. We got the same exact answer as when we did it by hand. Okay, cool. All right, let's delete everything on the page. Delete everything, and let's go to the next problem. Okay. Next problem has us doing division. We're going to do this one on the calculator just to save some time. Okay, what do we do first? Well, we do what's in parentheses. 8.29 minus 0.32, which gives us 7.97. Okay, this is going to give us 7.97. Okay, now we're going to divide by 0.4. Okay, if I really wanted to divide by a whole number, the calculator can do it just fine. Okay, but it's difficult for us. So I would just move my decimal points over, right? Move my decimal point over one spot, and here as well. Or you could also say multiplying by 10. You can multiply this by 10 and multiply this by 10. Okay, which is going to give me 79.7 divided by a whole number, which is 4. Okay, it's the same thing. Let me show you that on the calculator. If I divide 79.7 divided by 4, that's going to give me 19.925. Or if I divide 7.97 divided by 0.4, it's the same thing, 19.925. Okay, so it's approximately 20. Our answer is going to be approximately 20. Again, 19.925. 19.9. If you wanted to add those other numbers, you could. If you really, really wanted to 5. Or approximately 20. Okay? Cool. Let's do a couple more problems. Let's do a quick joke. The joke says, how can you make time fly? Answer, throw a clock out the window. Haha, haha. Okay. What I want you to do is I would like you to do these 2 problems on your own. Okay? So again, you're going to do the parentheses first, then the division, then the subtraction. Let me just show that on the screen so you guys can see it. Parentheses first. Where is it? Oops. What happened? Let's go back. Sorry. Where did it go? There we go. Parentheses first, then division, then subtraction. First step, second step, third step. Go ahead, pause the video and do those problems. All right, if you pause the video and you did that problem, you came up with the following answer. Okay, I'm going to do part of this just written and part of it on the calculator. Okay, 1.5 times 0.24 equals 0.36. Okay, so obviously it's less than 1 because they're both really small numbers. Okay, then I'm going to divide by 0.5. Okay, if I divide by 0.5, let me get rid of this word, pause. If I divide by 0.5, I can move over the decimal point one spot to the right. Let's just do that in a different color. Okay, I move this over once. I move this over once. We're going to be dividing 3.6 by 5. Okay, I already know that's going to be approximately, well, in between 5 and 6, right? So let's do that. 3.6 divided by 5 equals 0.72. Okay, if it would have been a whole number, it would have been approximately 5 or 6. So 0.72 is going to be my next part of the problem. So here equals 0.72. Okay, but I'm not finished. I still need to do that third step, which is the subtraction. Okay, so we have 7.58 minus, see that minus sign right there, 0.72. Let's do that part in the calculator just to save some time. 7.58 minus 0.72, which gives us 6.86. 6.86. I'm going to do the whole thing on the calculator just to check our answer, to make sure we did that correctly. Okay. I have my book right here, and it looks like that is correct, but I will check it just to make sure. Again, we need to do the multiplication first, so 1.5 times 0.24 equals 0.36. Divide that number by 0.5, which gives us 0.72. I need to remember that because I got to put my 7.58 first, so 0.72, 0.72, 7.58 minus 0.72 gives us 6.86 as our final answer. All right, good job. Okay, these problems are relatively difficult. Okay, they are pretty difficult. And then when you have problems like this next one, for example, where you have two sets of parentheses, it's even more complex. We will get to that problem next time. Okay, so we're going to just end the class for now. Okay, we're going to stop right for now. Okay, because these are a little bit more complex, and you're probably just done with these types of problems. You're probably just completely finished. Okay. If you want to practice a little bit more, I would recommend you go to this this game right here. This game is called abcya.com, and it's order of operations. If you click here, it'll just put the order of operations as in a game format. You have to pick which ones you do first. So obviously you do the parentheses first, and then the division, and then the multiplication and addition, and then you'll get the final answer. So this is also another one that you could do right here, Math Playground. It gives you just a time limit to figure out multiplication and just practice multiplication and division facts. Here's another one if you really want to play it. This is more for what we did last time, a couple weeks ago. Okay, and then here is a Kahoot that we played. Okay, so we did a little bit of what we learned in 5th grade, just the parentheses, multiplication. So here's that. If you wanted to practice that, you could practice that. So it's been a pleasure. I hope that you guys learned a little bit about this this subject. It is pretty complex. So thanks for listening, boys and girls. We will talk to you guys later.